Yo, what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. If you're new and you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to this channel. So let's get straight into it.
It's like it's Minute Maid, hijack 4, renegade, 24, number 8, Kobe shit fade away, ballin' since 11th grade, still in school, let them hate.
Right before we get into this video, I forgot to say this in the intro. My bad, I'm a dingus. But I made a brand new channel, Yo Mojo. You should go ahead and subscribe to it because over there is going to be my second basketball channel. Over there, I'm going to be doing reactions to shows like First Take and Undisputed, you know, mainstream media. And also I'm reacting to you guys' hot takes on Instagram and Twitter once in a while. Go ahead, subscribe to that. I'm gonna be uploading there damn near daily. So let me go ahead and let the show continue. So the 2020 NBA playoffs are going on right now. Literally the most exciting part of the NBA. Because the biggest questions that we all have are bound to be answered in these moments right here. Who will win the NBA championship and who's phony and who's legit in the NBA playoffs? In the midst of all this tension, here's little old me still talking about the 2020 NBA draft when it's literally 2 months from now. I have issues, but you do too for coming over here watching me talk about these issues. We both suck, man. But in today's video, I just came here to get something off of my chest. As time has went on, I've taken notes of what the consensus NBA world thinks about this up and coming draft, and who's hot and who's not. And I believe that I finally came to a conclusion as to just who are the most underrated and overrated prospects of this class. Now before some of you just begin to lose your focus and begin to type away your little stubby fingers on that keyboard, listen up. Understand this, over here we use logic over emotion. I do pour my heart out in these videos with the energy and effort that I bring onto these things, but when it comes to these scripts and the info that I convey from my brain to your eyes and your ears, it's straight logic. So go ahead and do your part, my friends, as my audience, and listen up. And while you're at it, I'm gonna need you to run me my like and go ahead and like this video because it actually helps a lot, and I'm gonna need you to enter this thing with an open mind. Let's go. Over a year ago today, I made a video pointing out all the top tier prospects from last year who were seen as lottery picks in this year's upcoming draft. And in that video, I had one of the more popular names in it at the time, Cole Anthony. He was a historical high school phenom. He was the top PG in his class who flooded all of our IG timelines with all types of highlights, filling us with excitement and joy, and it genuinely felt like he was next up. The next great top PG, Cole Anthony, he set us up for years of pure entertainment. But all that talk came to a sudden halt come August, September, October, and soon to be November 2020. What exactly happened? Why did this happen? And can he make a comeback so his name can slowly rise to the top again? Let's get into it. Well, I lied. There's nothing to really get into because the short answer is no. What happened to him wasn't in his control at all. Injuries and several other things were out of his control. After a day of a full synopsis of Cole Anthony, who he truly is as a prospect, I've came to a conclusion that he just may be the most underrated prospect of his class. I see him way too low on so many big boards. And as we speak right now, his stock is at an all-time low for some unreasonable reason. I for one think that Cole Anthony's high school clout may have hurt him than helped him, because with all that college clout comes high expectation, which meant that he had no room to have a subpar season for whatever reason. Those big boards and rankings don't have any optimism for Cole Anthony and who he is as a player, but I for one do have optimism in Cole Anthony and his ability to make it in the big leagues. I say this because Cole still has the makeup of an at least solid guard in the NBA. Sure, he may not have that same star potential type feel to him, but it still does feel like he can be a very productive NBA player. He's super shifty and a truly gifted ball handler who's light on his feet, athletic and flashy off of the dribble. He's such a pleasure to watch when he's hooping and is one of the more visually pleasing hoopers to view. He has all those pretty moves equipped that makes fans' eyes pop out there on the crowd. I truly feel like he's an electrifying guard, but I have to admit he is a risky one at the same time. A risky one that I'd bet my money on though that he succeeds in the NBA, assuming he's healthy. But that's where things went wrong for Cole Anthony in college. Cole dealt with injuries and inconsistency. Those are some of the worst things that could happen to literally any young prospect. Cole Anthony nearly missed an entire month of hoops and returned mid-season to attempt to help his sorry team win games. Now this UNC team is by far one of the worst in recent history. Just look at their record and the recruits that they were able to bring in. Nobody else off of that team is projected to be an NBA pick, which is odd and suspect as hell considering that UNC is viewed as one of the best basketball programs in the country. So along with his injuries and him having to get his body right in the middle of the season again, The fit wasn't necessarily there on his team. Cole is a versatile scorer, but a guard like him needs space, and spacing wasn't available for him on a consistent basis at all. So I say all of that to now tell you that he is one of the more underrated prospects in this class, simply because of the cards that were dealt to him. Now I know his numbers weren't the prettiest and mouth-watering like other prospects, but Cole is the exact type of prospect to have a better rookie season compared to his college freshman year. Cole Anthony's freshman year in college in some ways reminds me of Atlanta's own Cam Reddish. They both faced injuries, efficiency-wise they weren't there, and their college season was a letdown compared to what many expected of them. But optimism for Cam still being a useful NBA player was still there, because he had a set of skills that would allow him to thrive in the NBA. He had so many tools to be a good player, all he needed to do was put them together. And because of that light people viewed him in, despite shooting 35% from the field and 33% from the three-point line and 77% from the line, he still somehow managed to be a lottery pick. NBA scouts were brilliant enough to look past by all those numbers and take things for what they really were. And since then he's been improving and has made strides as an NBA player towards the end of the season. If I were to tell you 10 years from now that Cam Reddish will finish his career as a top 3-4 player from his draft class, I promise you wouldn't be that surprised. I'm having the exact same type of energy and thought process for Cole Anthony. He has a similar enough situation for Cam for me to believe in him and his talent. Just like Cam, Cole outside of his college season has built up a phenomenal resume. And just because of a poor set of 22 games, I'm not giving up my hope on Cole. And neither should you. Whoever gets their hands on this man right here is going to be a very lucky but smart team. A lot of teams and a lot of y'all are kind of sleeping on Cole Anthony and just how great he could potentially be. It's time for y'all to wake up. Hello, y'all awake? Great. Now I need y'all to wake up and stop hallucinating and painting false images of the 6'9" power forward out of Dalton, Obi Toppin. I've seen too many takes of people overrating that man's skill set and talent. Now look, I'm not no hater. Hating is what lames do. Some of y'all think that calling a specific player overrated is called hating, and really it's not. You're soft. It just means that the majority of people who view this player or prospect tend to overvalue their skill set and what this player brings to the table. That's all it is. It ain't hating. A lot of people glorify the few great things that Obi Toppin can do on the court and just completely gloss over his weaknesses as if he won't get exposed in the NBA. Obi Toppin is overrated in my mind, for what he does as a 22-year-old prospect just doesn't warrant him as a top 5 pick like many view him. That's completely uncalled for in my mind. When we talk about the NBA today, we tend to put more of an emphasis on defense specifically from the big man spot. It's quite unrealistic for a big like Obi to thrive in the league and be this elite talent that many view him as, because for one, he's limited offensively, and secondly, he's a liability. The only type of bigs who can get a pass for suspect defense are bigs who have a supreme effect offensively on the court and the outcome of a game. Bigs whose offensive capability supersedes what they do on defense. And Obi Toppin, sad to say, is just not that type of player. Now you may be wondering how I know this and why I feel this type of way. Well, all I do is just simply, look at the past. The best way to predict the future is by analyzing and truly understanding the past. And when I say in the past, I mean by what works in the NBA today. And it's common that bigs who don't move well on the perimeter and can't hold their own in the paint aren't doing too hot in the league anymore. So if that's what's going on today, how can you expect Obi Toppin, who has those weaknesses, to have a major effect on a winning team? Obi is good, but he's not good enough to be a difference maker or a savior to anyone's franchise. Think about this, y'all. What player in the NBA today in the year 2020 is dominating the game right now and has a similar play style and skill set as Obi Toppin? Go ahead, say your answer. I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. I still can't hear you. I'm just gonna assume that you said nobody, because that's the right answer. No star player in the past few years or even right now is comparable to Obi's skill set, frame, and talent. There is no such thing as a star player right now who's comparable to Obi and what he does in the game. Now there are plenty of players in the league who have his skill set and frame, but those players aren't meant to be stars, and they're not stars in the league for a reason. Like I said in my comparisons video, which is right there if I'm not lazy enough to put the link. Come on, Mojo, you gotta do better, bro. His comparison is Kyle Kuzma. And in what universe is Kyle Kuzma dominating the NBA in? You must be high. You must be high off of that way off P-Pack or that Kawhi Leonard pack. I don't know what you want, bro. It's not hard to see. Put the puzzle pieces together and don't let these analysts boost your head up about what Obi Toppin is or what he could be. People out here comparing this man to Mari Stoudemire. You're just setting him up for failure in the league. That's false advertising. When y'all hype up certain prospects and said prospects, like for example me, Jared Culver last year, I fell in love with that man last year, but I broke with him now. Anyways, when you do stuff like that to certain prospects and they don't meet expectations, everybody's gonna think he sucks. Pipe down on Obi Toppin. He's a nice player, and I'd like him, you know, maybe coming off of the bench for my team or something like that. But he's not what most of you think he is. He's overrated. Kira Lewis is one of the more underrated players in the draft. For what reason? I don't really know. I'm just as confused as you right now. When you compare his numbers to guys like LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Halliburton, Killian Hayes, Tyrese Maxey, guys like that, any guard you can think of, he's either putting better numbers or numbers that are very comparable. Now, while knowing that, some of y'all may be wondering, why on earth isn't this man spoken upon that much? Can he not shoot? Is he too small for the NBA? Is his playstyle not applicable? What is going on? Does he have a felony attached to his name? Like, bro, what is it? What is the media trying to hide from me? Because I don't get it. I just don't understand why he's not viewed as a lottery pick. Because to me, on my updated big board list, which may come out, you know, a month from now, whatever, he is. Any team this offseason that needs a jolt on offense should highly consider drafting Kira Lewis. Lewis is one of, if not the fastest and quickest guard in this class. He has a clear spot in the NBA today. The 6'3" guard with the 6'5" wingspan is set to be one of the more productive players out of his class. And I can see him having a very long NBA career, whether he's a star or a very good role player. Kira fits the mold of what type of guards fit in the league today. He's not a liability defensively, he can shoot and he can push the pace, and that's what he's best at. And also at the same time, what's nice about him is that he's not too reckless and he can control himself. Kira just about has the full package and the numbers to back up the argument as to why he should be valued more than he already is. If he ever becomes at least a top 7 player out of this class, it would not surprise me whatsoever. And it better not surprise none of my boys who are watching this video either. This is the end of the video though, man. I really do appreciate you for coming over here and seeing me talk about basketball once again. That's hella dopey. You just watched me talk about the most overrated and some of the more underrated prospects out of this draft class. I really appreciate you for that. I want you to go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, not only to this channel, but also my brand new channel that I'm going to be uploading damn near daily on Yo Mojo. All my videos over there aren't going to be as nice as these videos. I'm going to be doing reaction videos to shows like First Take, Undisputed. I'm going to be streaming there once in a while. I'm also going to be posting, you know, doing things like post-game thoughts or whatever. And also, I'm going to be, you know, reacting to you guys' hot takes on certain things. Or, you know, I may even go ahead and make quick little NBA videos based off of my thoughts. All this is going to be off the dome, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you. Go ahead and subscribe to that. And yeah, man, this is the end of the video, so I'll get right with you. I appreciate you. Make sure you make your day great.
No way, remember back when I couldn't get a play, no home, I ain't have a place to stay, I got to work, made it free the way, so my girl, who'd ever thought?